as a Community Affairs Manager for Greater China for UBS AG, overlooking employee volunteering and grants making in Hong Kong, Taiwan, and China. Since 2010, I've been actively involved in youth engagement. I'm currently serving as the president of Hong Kong Association of Business and Professional Women. Previously, DragoNation, the Alumni Association of Dragon Foundation, which connects epic Chinese from all over the world. I'm also a member of the Standing Committee of HKUST Convocation, also a member of HKFYG Youth Advisory Committee, Youth Think Tank, and with great passion to serve, I'm glad to be able to contribute my humble thoughts.
Yeah.
Immediate past president of the Hong Kong Association of Business and Professional Women, currently the advisor of the team. And what I am doing currently for the group is we are looking to launch a global project called Project Gen E, meaning Generation E, and in which, like, you know that like currently all the newborns are now like E kind of like digital era, and somehow we think that it would be good to like through a digital channel to let them to introduce the female heroine. So this year we are launching this program, and we are calling for application from children age 6 to 12 to submit the application on women heroine stories. So we try to start gender equality education from a very young age. Indeed, no. When I was young, I didn't know how to communicate. I just rush for the things that I want, and I go for whatever opportunities that I have. But then when I grow older, I think after a few years of taking the leadership, then I get to know that rushing for a goal is your goal only. But if you are rushing for a team's goal, then you have to communicate with every single stakeholder and your team so that everybody are rushing for the same goal. I think that was something that I learned from all the leaders that I got to work with. And I realized that this can also best utilize everyone's effort. Like I would say that I am quite good at initiating a strategy, for example, but then I won't be the best person to execute, for example, or I'm not the best person to manage finance. Then I really need someone who can best manage finance, best execute, but then they have to know what I have in mind as a strategy so that we can work together towards the same goal. So at the very beginning, I didn't know, but then I learned it the hard way, and then I get to know what is the best to work with the team. There is, and Lehman Brothers just bankrupt, and many of the bank was in a very bad situation. And that was the year where I started in banking and finance. So obviously I didn't get any internship. First of all, I think that many of the young teenagers ask me, oh, so how many internship did you do in banking because you got into an investment bank? And I said, no, I haven't done any internship in banking. No matter you're talking about investment bank or commercial bank. So it was like, I amazed people, and I was like, oh, seriously, you didn't do anything? Yes, I didn't do any internship, but then I try my best to look for internship in other industries, so which also widened my horizon in human resources. I also did internship in this pharmaceutical industry, which they do the artificial heart beater. I also did internship in McDonald's. My very first summer job right after my HKCE exam, it was McDonald's. So I did quite a number of internships, but then I never been in banking. So I graduated in 2009. Everybody suffered to get a job in banking, which obviously even for the people who got thin list or who got how do we call it, straight A's, they never got an internship. There were only 3 offers from Boston Consulting Group that year for the whole worldwide. So I would say graduating from business that year was bad. I'm not sure whether like when you compare with this year is better or worse, but then it was a very bad year. So right after I graduated, I got a job from a company in Singapore called Euro Monitor International. So it was a marketing research company, which there's no office in Hong Kong. I worked from home. It was like early a version of working from home that year. So I work from home and all the team are in Singapore. There's no one in Hong Kong. I did quite a number of projects for them. I did a tourism project. I did beverages project, which I didn't know what end up it should be. But then because at that time there is no other job offer, then I did this kind of in between jobs. So I did this marketing executive for 6-7 months before I landed in Nanyang Commercial Bank for FX dealer position for 2.5 years. So that was a very interesting experience that I always tell people that no matter where you started, you always have a chance to go to where you want if you are persist enough. Then after that 8 months, what I learned is I save a lot of money because I don't have to go out. I just have to go out to, for example, when I do my beverage research, then I have to go to the supermarket. I check out the prices. I check out like what kind of brands are there. But then other than that, I don't really have to go out. I just stay at home. Something like called 宅男宅女 in a more modern term. But then I don't think many of the people or friends know about this history of myself. It was quite an experience, I would say, because you were waiting for a job. You know that you're not going to land here. You know that you wanted something else. You know that as a finance graduate, you want to be in banking, you want to be in finance, but then because the situation was bad and you have to like just hold on and wait for the opportunity to come. And the opportunity may not come early as early as you want, but then you just have to hold on and you know you're waiting for something that's worthwhile. And hence, I also, like when I landed in Nanyang Commercial Bank, I know this is not the place that I want to be. I know it's a good company. I was in a graduate trainee program, but then when I know that people who has been there for like 25 years in the same ranking as I do, then I know that I may not be able to like have a fast track career in there. And hence, after 2.5 years, I went for international placement degree, I would say, placement opportunity where I have a chance to work for UBS London as a tax analyst. So that was kind of like my transition point where I have a chance to like change my career from a local company to international company. And that's how I landed in UBS Hong Kong later on. I would say there's another story that right after I came back, it was 2013. It wasn't a great year. I didn't have a chance to go back to UBS Hong Kong straight away. I also waited for another 6-7 months in between, in which I worked for a human resources company. It's like a headhunter company for 4 months before I go back to UBS. Like when I asked myself, I think that headhunter is a really exciting role and is fits my character as well. But then when I asked myself, if I wanted to be a headhunter, why did I do that 1-year placement in London? Then I quickly switched back to UBS, and it was a contract role, and I had 3 6 months contract with UBS before I became permanent in that role. And it was investment banking role, transition manager, where I help client with onboarding. I help client to open accounts. I am the one stop. How to put it? So I am the central point where people send me information on the client's KYC. Then I proceed to credit risk, and also to legal, and then I negotiate with legal liaison with client, all these. And then until the client open the account, and I handhold it until I pass it on to the account manager. So there was a role that I really enjoyed. I've been there for almost 4 years until there was a chance that I then proceed on to my current role as community affairs manager. In that 4 years before I transit to my current role, I would say it was I was given a lot of opportunities to do extra stuff. Like I was the president of the DragoNation at that time. I was the president of, and then after 2 years presidency, I built a Toastmaster club in UBS. And then when I move on to my current role, then I was the president of PBW Hong Kong. So I would say that I was given a lot of opportunity to build up my portfolio for my current role, so that I am able to build up my portfolio and my credentials as well. So yeah, as I've mentioned to you, I would say that when I look back, it's connecting all the dots. I was the president of DragoNation. I got married in the same year, and then also I was taking up new roles from Toastmaster at the same time. But then whenever for example, today I'm committed to DragoNation, then I fully commit myself and think of every single opportunity and possibilities for the organization, and I voice out to the team and see whether it works. But then on the other day, when I'm committed to Toastmaster event, I fully committed to that, and I only think about, like, I try to be very focused on every single small groups or like circle that I'm working for and I'm serving for, and I try to be very committed to that at that point of time. It to progress, I wanted to have some kind of improvement, I would say. So whenever I take up a new role, I will try my best to pursue to whatever I can and find the right people for that role. For example, when I was the president of DragoNation, I definitely look up to all the former presidents, and also I also get the team. I think that's very important, to get the right people into the right place. I would say that I'm very lucky to get a team that work together towards the same goal. I think it's very important to communicate the goals with every single one in the team. I think it's not easy to understand what you're envisioning when this is not like in place yet. But then you have to be very actively communicating what you want at the end, and what's the purpose of having it, so people can support you and help you with that goal at the end. I think it's important to let everyone to envision that goal at the same time as well. In terms of time management, I would say not very good at it. I'm trying. I'm trying to balance everything at the same time. Communication is the best thing that I learned. As you know that I work for UBS, so you may think that because in a corporate is what I learned the most from a corporate is really communication. We have 60,000 people in the firm worldwide, and it's difficult for us to talk to no matter we are talking about junior or we're talking about like communicating upwards. So I would say that communication, proactive or active communication is very important. You just have to keep people ahead and give the people heads up on what's going on and what I'm working on. And do you agree? If you do not agree, please let us know what is the other possible alternatives. I would say this is the most important thing that I've learned from working in corporate. And also, it also applies to small organizations as well. Strategies, of course, is very important, but then I think what you have in mind have to communicate very thoroughly with the rest of the team so that we are working on the same goal, and they can also like give their ideas on what is better, because I always think that what I'm thinking may not be the most valuable solution or the best solution, but then the team effort will always come together as the best solutions. I would also use the same strategy. Always make use of that time. Whenever you're staying with your kids, you best use of that time. You focus and play with your kid. But then when you are at work, you truly focus on at work. I don't really like the idea of too multitasking. I believe that everybody has to multitask, but I don't really like that when you are playing with kids and you are like on your mobile, you're replying to WhatsApp, and that would truly distract. But then I believe in focus. So when you are doing something, you truly focus on that. And later on, when you allocate time into work, then you truly focus on the work. So I guess this is how I manage my time as well with different organizations. I would say that many would say that, you must be very capable of taking up any position. But no, every organization, as you have mentioned, every organizations are different, and not my leadership style can fit in all organizations. So obviously I have encountered quite a number of failure before I am who I am currently. And I won't say that I'm very successful, but then I would say that I accumulate experiences and I try to apply my failure and turn it into success, hopefully. So first of all, whenever I land in one organization, I go to the stakeholders that would affect my job. So for each of the organizations, for example, DragoNation, definitely I have to reach out to you, Clive, and learn about the organizational culture and like the key stakeholders. Like whenever I land in new organizations, I think the key stakeholders, go to them, have a coffee chat with them, get to know what's important to know, what are the key points. I think like when you are humble enough to learn, people are willing to share with you what's important, what are the key stuff that you have to note, and who are the key person you have to reach out to whenever you need it. I think these are the important thing that I learn when I go to different organizations. Same as Toastmaster, then I go to the people that I kind of like know, then I reach out to them and ask them the important questions. And important questions such as who I have to talk to, who I have to reach out to, what are the important stuff that I have to bear in mind throughout. who can support my initiatives, who are innovative enough, who are the ones who accept new ideas. I think these are important. Currently, I'm taking a number of new roles, and especially under this virtual situation, everything is new. Even for my professional role in community affairs, my role is employee engagement, and I can tell you there is no way or like very limited employee engagement that we can do in a virtual environment, but still we have to do it because this is my role and I definitely have to take it. And I would say this is always new challenges and failure, but then learn from each of the failure and it will turn into success one day. I think like every time when you encounter a failure, you reflect on what worked and what didn't work, and take the best part of it and see how we can turn the failed part into success. Never be afraid of failure, because failure is just the mother of success. I'm not sure whether this is something that has already been shared with someone, but then yes, I truly believe in it. And if you fail enough times, then you will success. I would say I'm quite lucky. I have people to help with a number of my different failures. I would say biggest failure, obviously, the first time when I tried to pick up the graduate role, it was because of the economic downturn. It was not very successful. Obviously, there are times that I have compete for something, but never be able to succeed. I remember there is one failure. I will not say it's the biggest failure in life, but then it's a repetitive failure. I'm not sure whether you heard about the Women's Foundation. They have a mentorship program, and the mentorship program is divided into two parts. One is the project apologies have work experience of more than 5 years, and for the mentors, they usually have experience of 10 to 15 years. I was told that it was a very good program, very well structured, and always in a very fierce competition. Normally 600 people fight for 100 seats, so it's 1 in 6 kind of chance. And I have entered into this mentorship. I tried to enter into this mentorship for 3 years in a row, but never succeed. And I keep trying. I have been trying for 3 years. So hopefully one day I will succeed. And every time when I fail, I reflect on what happened and why, and was it because of my interview? Was it because of my experience? There's always a very good email come back and say, oh, because we don't think you need mentorship. I don't know whether it's the real answer, but then I think that is quite interesting. It's repetitive failure. I have been trying it, but then I will keep trying. I can see the value of entering, and I also see the value of failure, because if you fail, then you have a chance to reflect. But if you never fail, you don't really reflect on yourself. I would say because you succeed, then you will say, okay, then I just keep on my way to do it. But then when you fail, then you will think and think and think, and then okay, or maybe this is not the way it should be. Maybe it should be the other way. So I appreciate failure. They are ours to take up a position. Obviously, people see the best side of them and see they have the capability of doing so. But from time to time, they said, "Oh, I'm not good enough. I've seen my former colleagues are better, or my former presidents are better." But then, to be honest, when I look back, for example, candidates for a certain position, um, the ones who said that they are not capable are the ones who are humble enough and ask questions and talk to people, and the ones who can execute it better. So I don't think you. I don't think that person not good enough. Just that they need to how to persuade them. I would say whenever they are asked, people see the good side of them, and they should take the courage of doing so. I think courage is quite important, and if they are not confident enough, talk to more people, talk to a number of people how they can do better, and if they are not the one, who else? Right? We are always talking about if I'm not the one, who else are the ones who are taking it.